Welcome to Study Time, a televised home learning program produced by Rwanda Basic Education Board.
Hello learners, I'm happy to meet you once again. I'm Anthony, your economic teacher. Today, we are going to continue with our Unit 11, and that is production theory on Unit 11. Then we shall look at lesson 5, the role of capital in the production process. So we are going to see why. Why do we need capital? What does it play? Capital, what is its role? So here, our learning objective, by the end of the lesson, learners should be able, or you should be able to explain the role of capital in production process. That's our learning objective for today. Good, but as usual, I would like to review the previous work. Let's review our previous work so that we proceed when we know how much we have in the previous work. So who can tell me what we looked at? Good. We looked at capital as a factor of production. Who can remind me, what do we look at under capital as a factor of production? Good. We looked at the categories. And what are some of them? Good. Liquid capital. We talked of human capital. Then fixed capital. That's the categories. Then I remember I went on and looked at the determinants of capital as a factor of production. Who can remind me? Good. Said that there is inflation. When inflation is high, what happens? The rate is also high. Good. So, as you can see, that's our previous work that we looked at. We looked at fixed capital, the categories, liquid capital, human capital. Then went on, we gave the determinants. Some of them briefly looked at inflation, duration of credit, the amount of credit. So that is just a summary. Now, let's proceed with our new lesson, the role of capital in production. We are going to look at some of the, so who can tell me some of the roles that you may know of capital? Good. There is provides job opportunities, because there are some that are employed. There is technological improvement under capital, those who take up use of capital intensive technique. Right. Now, you can get a book and a paper, then we note down something. We see capital as a factor of production. We look at the roles. Get a pen and a paper. So One, there is promotion. It's promotion of technological progress. Promotion of technological progress. So one of the law of capital, it promotes or promotion of technological progress. Now, if we talk of technological, you all know from technology. So there is some techniques, capital. Because when we talked of capital, there is living primitive way of doing things. Normally I say local way of doing things. So we leave primitive methods, then we go to modern methods. So under technology, you leave the primitive way. For instance, if you take up technology, what does it mean? You will import modern technology from outside. You may go and buy machinery, tractors, irrigation equipments. You can hire also experts from outside so that you increase on the output. So this is one of the role that capital does in production process. So promotion of technical progress. Good. Next, facilitates. Capital facilitates economic growth. Capital facilitates economic growth. How does it facilitate economic growth? Good. So you find that many people are employed. That's under human capital. Then also where you see fixed capital, you find that land is used and is paid rent. Then because we said under human capital, people are paid. As they paid, they get income. If they get income, they can reinvest. Then land is also used. There is also use of resources. Resources are utilized. At the end, we get what we call economic growth. The economy grows. Why? There is income and investment increases because there is savings. At the same time, there is income to reinvest. Good. Next, promotes capital. Capital promotes factor. Capital promotes factor mobility. So it promotes factor mobility. We looked at factors of production, remember. So who can tell me some of the factors that we looked at? Good. So we talked of capital itself, land, there is entrepreneurship. So all, even labor is paid, is rewarded. The reward is wage. Then capital, we said interest. Entrepreneur also gets profit. Now, land gets rate. Now, if we talk of mobility, factor mobility, that there is movement of those factors of production. They can be distributed. For instance, let me say I'm a laborer, and I happen to know there is a job in Nyagatare. I will go there because somebody invested there. There is a factory. Still, if I happen to know that in Musanze, there is also a factory. Recently, we had a cement industry in that area. What does it mean? That labor moved from Kigali and it went to Musanze. Others will go where? They will go to Karongi. That's what we mean, that there is a distribution of labor, there is distribution of the factors of production. Why? Because capital is there. Investment can be done in all areas of the country. In north, south, central, if there is capital, there is distribution and all free movement of the factors of production. Good. Next, let me hope you are noting down. We move together. Next, facilitates. Capital facilitates industrialization. Industrial. Facilitates industrialization. Who can tell me how does capital facilitate industrialization? Good. Now, you may find that in areas when there is capital, there is land is there, labor is there. If I talk of land, that's an example of a fixed capital. Then we have human capital, it's also there. You find that industries are established. Let's take an example. Here in Kigali, we have the free zone, or some people say economic zone. There are many industries. Why? People have enough capital to carry out investment. Then we get industries. So that's why I said that capital facilitates industrialization. You cannot wake up, you don't have machinery, you don't have land, you don't have labor, and you say that you are going to start up an industry. What you need is capital. Experts, you have experts. You have people who will learn those machines. You have land. So all these, they are under capital. So where there is capital, industrialization is possible. So you may find that even the country can build up industries in different areas if capital is there. But if we don't have capital, for instance, we talked of liquid capital. Let me give an example. If we need $40 million to start up an industry. So the absence of this much, it may lead us to fail. We may fail if we fail to raise this much, because this is under liquid capital. If we fail to get this much, which is capital, then we shall not start up any industry. Industrialization, to take a place, it means you have to be with capital. Good. Let's continue. Capital facilitates employment creation, or you can say opportunities. So whenever there is capital, what does it mean? It means that there is investment. If there is investment, it leads to increase the productivity. So if there is investment, it means that labor will be employed. We are able to employ many people because investment is possible. Good. Next, capital promotes or promotion of research, and innovation. So capital promotes research and innovation. So whenever you are going to start up a business, there is what we call, you make research. When you make research, it helps you to get things of good quality. And innovation, there are new things that are got. So there is manufacture of new things in case there is capital. So whenever we get capital, it's easy to carry out research and innovation. Next, capital reduces dependence. Capital does what? It reduces dependence. Who can tell me if you hear the word dependence, what does it mean? Dependence, from the word depend. Depending. Good. So this is where I find that nationals of all citizens of a country, every time they don't invest, they don't save. In most cases, you find when they are poor, what they do, they wait for the government to give them each and everything. So, let me give an example in Rwanda. We have a group, a category, where we find that the government accommodates those people feeds them, and gives them medicine. So everything, it is done by the government. So there is increase in dependence. But if there is capital, what does it mean? We can save. We can invest. As we invest, we get income. If we get income, we save. Then we invest. You find that the circle is moving and people's standard of living is increasing. Why? We have capital to carry out investment. All the requirements that we need to invest are available. We are sure capital, fixed capital is there. We have liquid capital. We have human capital. So the availability of all those enables us to invest. Then at the end, we reduce the dependence. Good. Then another thing, capital promotes promotion. So capital promotes, so promotion of specialization. So capital encourages or promotes, or there is promotion of specialization. Good. Dear learners, who can tell me if you hear this, when we talk of specialization, what does it mean? Specialization. Right. Now, under specialization, it enables capital to carry out specialization. For instance, let me talk of human capital. Someone is specialized in operating machinery. That's what that person will do. He will concentrate on working on machinery and he leaves the rest. An industry, if capital is available, it can also decide to produce one product because capital is available. So that is promotion of specialization. At the end, we get quality products, we get skilled manpower, then also you find that there is quantity of goods. So all come out because there is specialization. But specialization comes in because we have capital. Good. Next, promotion of quality goods. So if we have capital, we are able to produce quality goods and services. So if we talk of quality, those are goods that any person may need, which are good. So there is quality goods. Why? Here I told you that there is specialization. If we specialize, we can get good quality goods and services because we are doing the same thing over and over. Then another thing, produces capital. I beg your pardon. So here, This is promotion of specialization. In case there is specialization, we are able to get quality products. Then, another thing, it facilitates capital, facilitates resource renewal. Capital facilitates resource renewal. So resources are renewed. Why? Because we have capital. We can, so the presence of capital, we can renew our resources. We can have more. We can exhaust, we can produce. So even maintenance is good. Dear learners, what I want you to take, to put in mind, this is the role of capital in production process. Our objective was, as I summarize, at the end of this lesson, you should be able to give or explain the role of capital as a factor of production. Now, we are achieving our target. Let's see whether we are achieving our target. These are the roles. Promotion of technological progress facilitates economic growth, promotes factor mobility, facilitates industrialization, facilitates employment creation, promotion of research and innovation, reduces dependence, promotion of specialization, promotion of quality goods and services. Then can leave this one out. Facilitates resource renewal. Then you can take up that homework and you can say, thank you, we meet again.